I'm going to be sharing with you my experiences of manifesting with mental illness. This video is going to be answering a huge question that I've been seeing around on the internet a lot. Can you manifest when you feel majority negative emotions throughout the day because you have a toxic work environment, a toxic family household, and life is just stressful for you? Maybe you're living in poverty, in a war zone, etc. And I'm going to just tell you the answer right off the bat because I was able to manifest my desires when I was in a place of chronic stress. And the thing is, there's a certain way that I approached it which actually made the manifestation process work, okay? And to just give it to you straight, yes, you can manifest a desire even if you have a mental illness. And I'm going to be explaining more in depth why and the exact process that I used, which worked for me personally. And honestly, as a byproduct of me manifesting my desires, eventually one day I realized that, wait a minute, I don't feel anxious anymore. I don't feel depressed anymore. I feel so happy, calm, and at peace. And my mental illness is just healed as a byproduct of that, of manifestation, I mean. So yeah, it worked amazing. And this video is just going to be me sharing with you my story and some of the biggest things that really helped me manifest my desires while I was in the state of chronic stress and survival mode. And that's what I define as like being mentally ill in this video context, by the way. When you're just in, for like more than 3 months, for more than 6 months, a chronic state of stress, a chronic state of nervous system dysregulation where you're constantly like afraid and you go to bed at night like anxious and thinking about all of the things that are horrible, and your environment, the people around you, the career that you're in is just very, very, very uncomfortable for you to deal with. I experienced all of that, but I was still able to change and shift my reality around and manifest. So that's what I define this survival mode, mentally ill state as. Anyways, now the thing is, the first thing that I want to mention is that you see a lot of people tell you that in order to manifest a desire, you need to feel good, you have to heal your mental illnesses, you need to fix your life or whatever, and just feel positive, right? Then you're gonna attract that desire to you. And the thing is, that advice is actually good, but for a person that is in a chronic dysregulated state, they are going to approach it from the perspective of, I need to fake it till I make it. I need to constantly force myself to feel happy. I shouldn't feel sad. Just because this person at my job yelled at me and it felt super uncomfortable, I shouldn't listen to those feelings. I have to push those away, suppress them, and think positive and feel good. Then I can manifest my desire. I shouldn't be allowed to feel negative emotions. Negative emotions are horrible. I need to stop having bad thoughts. And when you approach manifestation from the lens of, I need to stop thinking bad thoughts. I need to stop it. I can't be sad anymore. I can't. I have to feel good. Why do I feel stressed out? I can't feel this way. What are you doing? You are literally just in a state of resisting. You're in a state of beating yourself up for thinking negative thoughts. You're in a state of just resisting and resisting and resisting. And what's the classic quote? What you resist persists. You've heard this a lot, I know, but understand that if your mind, its thoughts are just full of, I can't feel these negative emotions. Oh crap, I felt this negative emotion. That means I'm going to manifest something bad in my reality. That means I'm not going to get my desire. Oh no, I have to get out of this. I have to think positive. And then you think positive for a little bit. Yeah, it's going well, I guess, but it's kind of forced. And then, oh, something negative happens again and you start thinking negative thoughts and you beat yourself up. It's like this really, really toxic cycle of you beating yourself up for having a negative thought and then thinking positive again, you getting another negative thought and you thinking about that, then beating yourself up. And the cycle just keeps continuing because you're resisting thinking bad thoughts a lot. And instead, that is not what you should be doing. That is not the right way to approach manifestation if you are in survival mode, if you're mentally ill, like I was. And instead, how do you approach it? You approach manifestation by just easing your way into it. By letting yourself just be, letting yourself feel anxiety, feel numb, and then slowly you have a dedicated manifestation practice for like 20 minutes a day, which will then start to rewire you easily effortlessly. And your goal is to just focus on being consistent, feeling the end result that you want to manifest for just 20-minute period. And then just moving on with the rest of your day and not trying to suppress anything, just letting yourself live. Letting yourself feel negative emotions, letting yourself just be and go through life and view everything. Because with this 1 20-minute practice, I swear this is so important. This changed my life, okay? Completely changed my life. Healed my mental illnesses, gave me my desires. You will slowly start to rewire those neural patterns, your body's capacity to hold positive emotion. Because here's the thing. In the past, whenever I was in survival mode, I noticed that I would get comfortable in it, okay? And to just give you a quick reason on how this exactly works and how I started and where it led me to be, I first started off as someone that was chronically just anxious, okay? Because my environment around me was one where I constantly felt unsafe. I felt threatened, not physically, but very emotionally and mentally I felt unsafe because whenever I would go outside, I would go to school, when I would go to work or whatever, I would end up just being so threatened in that place because there were toxic people there that would harass, isolate me, and verbally be abusive and socially abusive, as well as I would be around people that at home were neglectful and weren't emotionally available for me. So it felt like I was just lonely, and which led me to form anxiety and be in a constant state of feeling threatened. I have to protect myself. I have to be safe. That led me to, of course, feeling extremely negative emotions, manifesting that more and more and more and more because the law of attraction, the law of assumption says whatever your dominant emotional state is, you will attract more of that. And there are certain caveats to that, which I'll be getting into the video because it's more not so much about your dominant emotional state, but your dominant emotional state around your desire, not the emotions you feel in general, just around your desire. What are the emotions you feel? I'll be getting more into that as well. But I would go to bed. Like, I remember clearly, I would go to bed thinking extremely, extremely fearful thoughts for the future. Like, oh crap, what am I going to do? What career am I going to get? Am I just going to live this way for the rest of my life? Is this what God has intended for me? And even if I was hanging out with my friends and all, I wouldn't be able to be truly present. I remember clearly I would make jokes about some natural disaster coming and unaliving all of us. And I would be like, I wish that could happen. You know, that would bring me so much peace. And the thing was, my friends, they did think that I was joking because I never opened up to them about how I was feeling mentally and what I was struggling with. Because at that time, I was afraid of what other people would think of me if I showed this weakness to them. This weakness. But it's not a weakness. It is something that you definitely need to get help with because having support makes the process so much easier. I wish I did that, but it all worked out anyway. And so now, after manifestation, learning about it, practicing it, and just improving myself, I'm in a place where I'm living in my desired country. I'm not mentally ill anymore. I have cured it. I have healed it without actually any therapy, without any medication as well, because manifestation is just so powerful and I healed it as a byproduct. And life is good. I have authentic friends that I'm open with now that truly care about me, truly love me. I've healed my bond with my family. And now I just get to be someone that I truly love. I'm truly happy to be. And just living fun life experiences and getting showered with blessings, such as wonderful trips, wonderful experiences, wonderful gifts, and just working on a passion that I love. And life is just a complete 180 now from how it looked like in the past. So yeah, that is a little bit of my story. And I just want to tell you that the first thing that actually catapulted this entire change, okay, the first thing was obviously learning a little bit about manifestation, but this was when I was in a period of isolation. So here it is. I'm just going to tell you from my experience how I was able to manifest my desires from the survival mode state, okay? And the number one best way to approach this is isolation, to isolate yourself temporarily from external influences and bring back your mental energy, bring back your focus by removing as many distracting things as possible. So this looks like you cutting out extra commitments or unnecessary things you signed yourself up for in order to bring your mental energy back to focus on manifestation, because manifestation requires mental energy, okay? So what I basically did was I just took like a 2-week vacation, okay? Vacation period, and I was living in my family's home. This vacation period, right, was one where I was mostly just staying in my room. I was mostly alone. I was occasionally talking to my family, like having dinner with them, having meals with them, but It was just mostly me locked up with my phone, with books, with myself and God, right? And this isolation period helped me start to rewire my subconscious brain and start to plant the proper seeds to begin the manifestation process. And the thing is, I want you to compare manifesting a desire to growing a seed. If you are in an environment where you are constantly stimulated, your focus is being pulled in different directions. You have work, you have kids, you have this volunteering commitment. You told this person you'll work overtime. You told this person you'll pick up them from their career or whatever. If you have a lot of distractions in your daily life, including social media, by the way, that is a huge one, including news, including social media. You are basically planting a little seed in your garden, which is your desire that you want to manifest. You have a water bottle, you have a gardening can, which is filled to the brim with water, and it is your focus. If you're constantly being pulled in different directions, you're going to be watering things that you don't even want to water. And instead, that seed, which is your manifestation desire, is not even going to get a little drop, or might even just get 2 drops and that's it. It's not going to progress quickly. There's not going to be many results. And this is extremely important for you to understand, because I don't see this talked about enough. Manifestation requires mental energy and focus, okay? Deliberate thinking. But if you say you want to manifest a desire, and instead of focusing on it, instead of actually watering it by expecting it, by believing in it, by embodying that you already have it and trusting that it'll come, and instead what you do is you look at the news and you feel negative, like, oof, can't believe that crazy disease is going around now. I'm scared that that'll come to me. Oof, can't believe that all this war is happening. Oh, I'm worried. Our world is really negative. This isn't good. Oh, I have this desire of mine, which is to live a happy life where I'm in a career that I like. Okay, yeah, I'll think positive for 2 minutes and maybe it'll work out, and I will look at the news for an hour and then I'll feel really negative and feel really uncomfortable. And yeah, I'll spend like 8 hours thinking about things and worrying about things that are totally out of my control and I don't want. But I'm just going to spend like 2 minutes thinking positive about my desire. It'll probably work out. And here's the thing. The more and more and more external influences tell you things like, no, you can't manifest that desire. No, our world is negative. No, this bad thing is happening. This bad thing is happening. That's impossible. Look at the drama that this person's going through. The more you focus on those things, the less and less and less you give your water to your little seed. And I'm telling you right now, the most transformational periods of my life were when I was in isolation. Because it was when I was in isolation, when I didn't have any distraction, that I was able to sit down and be like, okay, this is what I want to manifest, and I'm going to make myself feel good. I'm going to believe in myself for 2 weeks. I'm going to rewire my identity, my self-concept for 2 weeks. No other distractions, no other things pulling my mind. Just this. And when I did that, that was basically me pouring water on that seed. And then it bloomed because I was focusing a lot on it. It started to bloom. It became bigger and bigger and bigger. And by the time that 2-week vacation period was over, when I went back to the city, which was where my toxic environment, I was surrounded by toxic people there, okay? And like I went on vacation to the countryside where my grandparents and my other family lived. So when I moved back to the city, right, after that 2-week break, and I was just dedicated on focusing on watering my seed, I started to notice that things were shifting. Not because the outside world, the outside environment had shifted. Something different happened after that 2-week break. But it was because I had changed. My identity had changed, my self-concept. Because I was now believing that I was a person who had this desire. And that led me to feel more confident, more secure, more happy. And the desire that I was manifesting at that time was literally just feeling good about the way I looked. Just feeling confident in my skin, feeling beautiful, feeling attractive, feeling proud to be me. And after I did go to my old environment, positive things started happening. People were different. Out of the blue, people were different. I started to become more luckier. Things were working out in my favor. And since I planted that seed, right, I didn't give up on that seed when I went back to my environment. I kept focusing on it. I kept watering it, but it was easier for me to do so because now I was actually having a good base. I actually grew it a little bit, so it was easier to maintain it and grow a completely new seed. And I want you to think of it this way, okay? Your garden, right, if you try to grow the seed while you're in a very toxic environment where you're around toxic family, for example, that constantly walk in, come up to you, they're knocking on your door, they scream at you, they yell at you, and whenever you go outside, you just argue with them. When you're trying to grow a new desire seed, like earning money or becoming more attractive, manifesting a relationship, manifesting friends, manifesting a career shift, it'll become a lot harder because obviously there are so many things pulling you and you only have a limited amount of brain battery per day. Think of your brain as like a little battery, and when you wake up in the morning, your battery's full. But when you talk to toxic people, when you have work commitments, when you have news distractions, when you have social media distractions, that brain battery goes down, 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 down. And eventually you don't have enough mental energy to sit down and make yourself focus on things that you want and believe in them. And that's why isolation, on the other hand, keeps your brain battery to the fullest. Just taking like a 2-week vacation and focusing on manifestation and focusing on your new identity will work wonders. Because again, it's easier to maintain something than it is to grow. It's easier to maintain muscle than it is to grow muscle for the first time. Like if you know this, if you go to the gym, okay, you know, if you've ever like done a workout before that and you earn like a little bit amount of muscle, it's easier to maintain the muscle. It takes less effort, it takes less brain battery, it takes less water to keep the muscle than it is to grow the muscle. It takes less effort to water a plant that's already like a considerable amount than it is to have like a little baby seed in the ground and then water that. So the specific action step that I have for you, if you want to manifest in the appropriate way, in the most fast and efficient way, even while being in survival mode, even while being chronically stressed, is to have a period of isolation where you pour all of your mental energy in just believing in, just growing that seed. And I'll be showing you more in depth in the next step, in the next practice, which is completely transformational and is exactly what I did. Is the biggest thing I did that helped me with this. But isolation is like the basics, okay, the foundation. Have like a 2-week period where you can just focus on yourself, look at yourself, and feel calm and feel stillness, because from a place of stillness and calm and actually having a full brain battery capacity, you can start to make change. Change is extremely hard if you have a low brain battery capacity. And if you can't schedule like a 2-week vacation, what I would recommend is to cut out as many things in your life that are unnecessarily taking up your mental energy. This looks like maybe you cutting out an extra club commitment that you might be in, like maybe at work or maybe if you're in school, like college. You go to this one club that you don't really like that requires you to obviously show up and use your willpower to be there and like talk to people. All of that is using up your brain battery, okay? The more things that you do throughout your day, like the more distractions that you have, all of it is using up your brain battery. And your brain battery is very precious, very important. So maybe you cut out that club, right? And then now you suddenly have like 2 hours of free time to relax and be in stillness. Instead of reaching towards your phone and sucking away your brain battery by just scrolling on your phone and looking at the news, you could sit in stillness and have some more time to do a dedicated manifestation practice, okay? And the thing is, the problem with our hyperstimulated world is that when we are constantly exposing ourselves to a lot of different information through our phones, through the news, through the media, through other people, we get confused. We want to believe that manifesting weight loss is easy, but then we go on YouTube and we watch a video of someone telling us weight loss is hard, I've done this, I've done these drugs, I've done this diet of where I only eat one banana every single day, but it's too difficult, I still can't lose weight, etc., etc., etc. And when you see all of that content, it confuses you. Like, can I really even have this? Will this even be possible? And you start to doubt your belief. This is what I faced a lot as well. And it wasn't until I actually started reducing my social media and replacing it with positive content that supported my beliefs, I couldn't properly change and manifest my desire, okay? Because if I was constantly bombarded with people telling me that what I wanted was, it's kind of difficult, maybe it wouldn't be working that way. No, you shouldn't manifest that. That's actually really bad. You should manifest this desire instead. You shouldn't go try to manifest that artist career you're passionate about. No, that's not going to make you enough money. You should do this social media business instead. That's going to make you a lot of money and will probably make you happier. So you have all these people telling you what to do, telling you what to think, and none of them are you. None of them are God. And when you take a step back from all that, when you leave it behind, and instead the only voice you have is your own inner intuition, your own internal guidance system, which will guide you towards the right things through your emotions, and you have God who you can talk to, who you can pray for guidance on, your quality of life will be so much better. Your focus is streamlined. You can manifest what you want in the most fastest and efficient way possible. Because I promise you, if you manifest this way, you will get to your desire so much faster than if you were trying to manifest something, but you were constantly like overstimulated with a club that you kept going to, or content on social media that made you keep doubting whether manifestation is real or not, made you keep doubting whether Oh, I don't even know if I should try to manifest this career because this person said this career is more successful, blah, blah, blah. That is going to lead towards so much confusion and distraction. And when you're on the seesaw of doubt and faith, your manifestations come at a snail's pace. And so, with that being said, I'm just going to move on to the second part that really helped me manifest even with a mental illness. And this is having a dedicated and consistent manifestation practice. Listen up. You've been told, of course, that, oh God, you need to monitor all your thoughts, monitor all your feelings throughout the day, monitor everything. Because if you think negative, you are going to manifest something that's negative. And here's the caveat, okay, with this. You will manifest something negative if your beliefs and expectations surrounding that thing are negative and don't feel good. What do I mean by this? If, okay, you were like depressed and you believe that, oh, I can't ever be in a loving relationship because I'm depressed. Who would want to be with me because I'm depressed? And I could never be in a relationship like that, blah, 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 blah. You will never manifest that, okay? But here's the kicker. If you were depressed, if you were mentally ill, but you expected and you believe that you are worthy, you can be in a healthy, happy relationship, that is what you will attract. You will manifest it because the beliefs, the thoughts, the emotions surrounding that particular desire, that one particular desire, are positive and are aligned with someone that already has it. Okay? So you will be able to manifest it. You will be able to attract that person. And in the process of you manifesting it, maybe you will change yourself. Like naturally you will start to do different things. You'll do like things that feel aligned. You'll take inspired action and then you will attract them in your physical world. And the thing is, you can manifest things, good things, if mostly you feel negative emotion, as long as around the desire there is a positive belief and positive emotions associated with it. Security, safety, confidence, love, all of those things. I want to give you an example, okay? I got extremely good grades while I was still in school because I learned about manifestation and started practicing those principles really early on. And for me, it wouldn't matter how sad or upset I felt when I went to go and write a test, okay? Because I was just so secure. I was so solid in my absoluteness that I always got good grades. Getting good grades was easy. I'm an intelligent person. I'm very smart. And so when I did go and write a test, right, I would get good grades no matter how my mood was. Because around that desire of mine, I would actually feel good about myself. I would feel confident. I would feel, when I sat down and wrote that test, I would feel ease. Like, okay, this is something I'm good at. This is something I know what to do. And then it would give me good grades. It wasn't dependent on my mood. It wasn't dependent on how positive I felt when I wrote that test or how negative. Instead, there was just this firm knowing that, and firm certainty around that desire of mine, around that particular area, that this is the truth. And that's what happened. And that's what reality will reflect back to you. Reality reflects the truth that you know to be true in your heart. Reality does not reflect, oh, this person felt sad one day, so I'm going to not give them their desire. No. If you have the desire as a truth, okay, and you're firm in it, you feel secure about it, you feel happy about it, you're not constantly like doubting, am I a good student or am I a bad student? Am I a good student? You're not constantly doubting, right? You will be shown what you fully convicted. And the biggest thing that I did, biggest thing that really helped me actually rewire my brain, right, to help me manifest a desire, was setting aside 10, 20 minutes sometime in my day to just consistently just sit down and practice feeling the end result of having my desire already. Whatever desire I wanted, just for 20 minutes, okay? And the rest of the day, I would just leave myself alone. Like, I would just let myself flow. And when I did this, I naturally, over time, as I kept doing this, began to shift and do different things that my past self didn't do. I began to start gratitude journaling. Out of the blue, one day, I stumbled across a video on YouTube talking about gratitude journaling. And I was like, that seems pretty nice. I want to start doing that from now on. And then I started doing it. And then as it continued, I started to stumble across a particular book that I wanted to read. And I was like, this book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, that seems pretty nice. I want to learn how to make friends. Why not? And then I read that book and it changed my life forever. So the point I'm trying to make here is, when you are consistent, okay, with this 20-minute manifestation practice every single day, and just let yourself be, let yourself feel however you want for the rest of your day, you are going to water that seed. You're going to water it. And when you start to water it, and over time, as the weeks pass, it'll start to obviously bloom, right? And when it starts to bloom, when you start to rewire your brain, and your brain starts to rewire because you're so consistent with this manifestation practice, you will take something called inspired action, which is your intuition, which is your subconscious brain, guiding you towards taking particular action that will change your life slowly and bring you closer to your manifestation, and it will feel good. So a big one for me was gratitude journaling, okay? I think that was one of the biggest things that helped me heal my mental health and helped me actually start to attract a lot of good things effortlessly, really quickly, fast, because of this one practice that I did. And I know I never would have done this. I would have never been open to this idea unless I did that manifestation practice. Because when I started doing that practice consistently, right, I noticed I started to feel more calm throughout the day. I wasn't as anxious or depressed anymore. Yes, I did feel stressed. Yes, I was anxious. Yes, I did feel hopeless at times. But I just was determined to sit down and feel good for those 20 minutes. And eventually it started to change me in these small, subtle ways to completely transform my life positively. Through gratitude journaling, through books, through more manifestation teachings, through more intuitive guidance, through actually helping me connect with God again and grow my relationship with God. And all of those things just started to completely keep compounding. And eventually it manifested a lot of my desires for me. And this is what you will experience as well. Like, let's say you're trying to manifest a friend group, for example. When you sit down and do this 20-minute practice where you expect your friends, you feel good that you have a really good friend group, you feel all the wonderful emotions of positivity, you feel certain, you feel good about it for just 20 minutes a day. As the days pass, you will start to notice that you might speak differently to people. You might not be so nervous and awkward when you talk to someone around you. You might notice that slowly you're starting to get approached a little bit more as the weeks go by. And then maybe you'll get pulled towards a certain book, like How to Win Friends and Influence People. You go and read it, completely shifts your perspective, and you keep continuing this manifestation practice. And eventually, maybe it won't even fully heal your mental health. Okay, maybe it won't even do that. But it will bring you to your desire. Because it will subtly shift certain things about you that you're doing in your day-to-day life, in your energy. And you will attract it. You will attract the friend group that you want because you will have grown that seed a lot. And here's the question you might be having. How do I speed this up? How do I speed up the process of receiving my desire? And to speed up the process, basically, all you really have to do is focus more, and put in more mental energy towards believing in that desire, feeling like you already have it, and feeling good. The more you can feel that energy and focus more on that desire, that's what determines how faster you will change, how faster you will grow. And the isolation period that I mentioned, wonderful for this, extremely awesome for this, because isolation is just you putting all of that mental juice into that one desire of yours, right? And you're going to just sprout that seed really high, really quickly when you do that. So the next thing that I want to mention real quick is that you don't have to be perfect to manifest your desire, okay? And I see a lot of people, they feel guilty when a negative thought comes up. They feel guilty when maybe they act in a way that doesn't align with them having their desire. Like if you're trying to manifest weight loss, you end up going and eating a bunch of sugary food and you feel really stressed and horrible about it. You do not have to be perfect to manifest. I just want to tell you this right off the bat, because people who are alcoholics became rich. They are successful. They're earning a lot of money. People who are anxious, people who are mentally ill, they are in amazing, healthy relationships, but they're not letting their mental illness, okay, make them needy in the relationship, which is very important, and I'll be getting a little into that as well. People, so many different kinds of people, they might have the drawbacks, they might have the handicaps that you feel like won't let you get your desire. But I'm just here to tell you, you can manifest it even if you're not perfect. You can manifest whatever you want. You don't have to be perfect. And all that you really have to do is just do this consistent manifestation practice and consistently focus. Because if you don't consistently focus, obviously you're going to go back to your default old reality. But if you do consistently focus, eventually, until you physically manifest that desire in your reality, keep focusing, okay? And eventually, once it does come, you can just leave that behind because it's now your normal. Now it's become your default. And I believe the main reason why the manifestation community does talk about mental illnesses and healing yourself first before you get your desire, which is so valid, which is actually true, because the thing is, if you do feel more positive emotions throughout your day, your manifestation will come in faster. Like the more you just focus on your desire, the more you feel good about your desire, your manifestation will come in faster because you're watering it more with your mental energy. And I understand the reason why, like mental health and healing your mental health is extremely important, because most people who are mentally ill, like I was, we didn't believe ourselves. We didn't believe that we deserved our desire. We thought we were unworthy. We thought we were numb. But as long as you really just believe that you are worthy of your desire, believe that you are someone that is worthy of love, and even if you feel negative emotion, even if you feel stressed, even if you feel anxious, you'll still be able to get it. You'll still be able to live a good life and manifest what you want. As long as you believe you deserve it, then it's all fine. You will be able to manifest it. even if you have a toxic environment around you. Because here's the thing, when you do that wish fulfill practice, slowly you will change, and slowly your environment will start to change on autopilot mode without you even having to intentionally manifest something. Because remember, I told you, I manifested feeling beautiful. Like, that was what I was trying to manifest, okay? And because that desire led me to become someone that was more confident, more secure, more happy, the outside world, the outside people treated me differently. My outside environment started to shift from me hating the city life, to me loving it, to me looking at all the beauty of nature, of people around me, of me noticing wonderful, beautiful things, me going out in nature and standing barefoot, feeling the soft grass beneath my feet, and feeling just so happy and in awe of how beautiful and wonderful life is. I changed through this manifestation practice. I became more happy because I focused on how good the feelings of having my desire felt like. And your mental health, right? The two things that you just have to keep in mind, which a lot of people who are mentally ill block themselves from manifesting their desire. These two things are believing that they're unworthy of it, and also relying on their desire to fill some sort of void within them, a hole within them, to rescue them. So you can be like as sad as you want, you can be as depressed as you want, you can feel as anxious as you want to, if you are not relying on this desire, okay, to fill something within you. Like, let's say, for example, you're really, really stressed about bills and you're worried about how you're going to pay the bills, blah, 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 blah. If when you sit down for your 20-minute manifestation practice, you focus on the end result, you focus on feeling good, that is already really good. And if you're just consistent with that, you'll slowly start to rewire your neural pathways and your beliefs around that, okay? And soon you will feel more secure, you'll feel more calm around that particular desire after you practice it consistently. Like, over time, it might take you maybe a couple of times of practicing to actually feel good during that 20-minute practice, but soon you'll be starting to rewire yourselves, okay? Soon you'll start to feel more calm and more good and more faithful. But if you are needy on the money to give you security, to make you feel safe, if you are needy and desperate to manifest it in order to get this feeling of, I have to feel safe, I have to feel good, money is everything. If I don't have money, then my life is over. If I don't have money, then I'm a worthless human being. If your worth depends on it, if you're extremely desperate for it, you are going to repel it from you. Because a really important thing about manifestation, about authentic manifestation, okay, is realizing that the only true source of fulfillment you can feel is not from anything external, but it is instead from your connection to God. And understanding this, understanding that all your desires in the external world, right, none of them are secure, none of them are solid, none of them are stable. If you worship money, if you worship manifesting a partner or whatever, you will keep repelling it from you. And it isn't until you authentically have God as your solid rock, as God, as the person who will give you the security that you want, give you the safety that you want, not money, God will. And realize that not the relationship won't make you feel loved and make you feel good enough. God will, okay? God will always be here for you eternally. God is as you see God. God says, I am as you see me. So whatever your perception of God is, that is what you will be shown in the outside world, okay? And I want to give you 2 ways that you can build your relationship with God, start loving God again, start trusting God, and have God be your main source of fulfillment and not your desire. And the first way is to just slowly start talking to God throughout your day, okay? Start talking about random things. Don't just pray about, I want this, give me that, give me that. Actually talk in a way where it's like you're talking to your best friend. And the second way to grow your relationship with God is to give gratitude, to notice the wonderful blessings that you might have been taking for granted that you have around you, and thanking God for giving you it, and imagining what your life would be like if you didn't have that thing. So with that being said, just watch out for this, okay? Make sure your desire isn't something that's like your savior, that is going to soothe your dysregulation within you. If you do actually want to improve your mental health and get out of survival mode and get back to a calm, happy, consistent baseline, no matter what your outside reality looks like, you can learn more about the 7 pillars of manifestation, because it's all about God-sourced fulfillment and feeling good in your body now and feeling safe and feeling happy. Because when you're in the state of just feeling open and feeling safe at a good baseline, manifestation becomes a lot easier, a lot more fun. And it also comes in quicker because you don't have all of these negative doubts or negative beliefs weighing you down anymore. And also, currently, this program of mine, the Co-Creator's Path, is on pre-sale. So if you want to check it out, it's almost completed. You can. The first link is in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was really insightful and gave you a lot of information, because This is very important, okay? Like, I wish people talked about this enough. Like, how do you exactly, in a healthy way, get out of survival mode and come back to a place where you're just manifesting your desires and feeling good? So, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.